Hello, what's going on everyone? And you're welcome to your favorite channel, The Lord of Apps. So today we are going to start taking a look at PHP and what is PHP actually used for. PHP is actually a server-side scripting language which is used to implement the backend functionalities of a website or web application, and I'd like you to also know that it only runs on the server side. It also runs on the server, and its result is fetched and displayed on the browser through plain HTML. So to write the PHP code that runs, you must write the code within PHP opening and closing tags. Alright? So but before we actually go ahead and write any code, PHP, just like I said, that it runs on the server, and for you to actually test or for you to actually follow this tutorial, you need to have a software called XAMPP installed on your system, which is this one right here. So, and to have this, I know that we have some other platform like WAMP or MAMP. I don't really know what they call it, but I think we'll have some other ones. But I'm using XAMPP. So if you must use this one that I'm using, which is XAMPP, you need to download this from apachefriends.org. And once you download and install it, just come and click on this start button right under action and just next to Apache. Once it started successfully, so you are now ready to start writing some code. Alright, but before we actually go ahead and write any code now, I want us to create a folder inside of in our root directory where we'll be saving all the work that we're going to be doing on this episode. So you can go to your local, just make sure you go to your local drive, and yes, just actually go to your local drive and open up XAMPP. Let me make this bigger. You open XAMPP and locate htdocs. Actually, let me go back. This htdocs right here is going to be your local host. It is going to be your server, just like you would have on the internet. So this is actually where you should be saving all your work. You understand? So you open that up and you should create a folder in here. So for the purpose of what we want to do now, I'm going to call this 360 PHP. Alright, you can call yours whatever you like, but this is what I want to call mine. Okay, so you can now head over to your editor. As you can see, I'm using Notepad++, but you guys can use any editor of your choice. So to actually write a code that runs successfully in PHP, you need to write the code in between PHP opening and closing tag. I think I mentioned that before. And to open a PHP tag is pretty easy. Just PHP, and you close it this way. So your code will actually be written in between these two tags. But before I go ahead and write any code right now, I want to save this file into the folder that we just created. So just go ahead and save yours. And as you can see, the folder is actually already selected. So I'm going to choose a file name right here, or type a file name rather. I'm going to write index.php and click save. So what I want to do now is to actually do a kind of print, a kind of hello world to the screen. And to do that, there is a command in PHP that we call echo. So I'll put that. First of all, let us just kind of write that without using echo first to print and see what we're going to get in our browser. So if I say something like hello, I am learning PHP, and if we save this and go to our browser, we're going to notice that we'll have an error. So to navigate to that folder, first of all, to actually access the folder and the file you just created, the way to do it in PHP is to start it with this localhost / the folder name. In our case, we'll call it 360 PHP. You understand? And then the index /index.php. We actually don't need to include this index, but let me just include it. When you press enter, you're going to get an error. So the error now says syntax error, unexpected I on line 2. So the error is actually coming because we did not use the correct PHP print command. So to actually output this to the screen, what we are supposed to do is to come to this place and we use a command called echo, and we need to wrap this text in quotation. You can use double quotation or single quotation. So when I Ctrl S to save, if I go back and refresh my browser, I should get that text. And now we'll have hello, I am learning PHP. So you can also use single quotations like this, like that. If you save and go back to your browser, if you refresh, you should still get the same thing. So another thing that I want us to look at right now is that echo is not the only command to output something to the screen. We also have the one we call print. And to test that out, let me just change this to print so that you guys will understand what I mean. Or let me just write a new line, okay, and use, I can say print, and inside of this parenthesis, no, inside of this quote, I can type whatever I want. I can type something like, this is my first PHP script. Alright, so if I save this and reload, I should also get this text on my screen. If I reload, there we go. This is my first PHP script. Let me actually go ahead and then break that line down so that I'll put them in separate lines. So to do that, you need to head over to this, add a dot, and inside quotes, it can be single quote or double quote, you add a HTML line break. And that's how to add PHP line break. I mean a HTML line break to a PHP. So let's go back to our browser and refresh. And now we'll have this is my first PHP in a separate line. Alright. Okay, now that we'll have echo and print that actually basically output something to the screen for us, what is now the difference between the two? So the thing is that the two of them are actually the same, but they have very slight differences. And the difference between the two of them is that echo is slightly faster than print, and echo take more than 2 parameters. Then as for print takes only 1 argument at a time. Alright, hopefully that makes sense. That explanation makes sense. So now that the difference has been cleared away, the next thing that I want to look at now is something like comments. Alright, let me just touch comment a little bit. And when we talk about comments, what comment really mean is that they are just a way of telling the browser or the server to do not execute a particular line of code. And this is very helpful to programmers. You know, sometimes when they are writing codes and maybe they left for a long time and they come back to the code they've written before and they are confused of what they were thinking about when they actually wrote that code. So to remind yourself of what you were doing, then you can actually use comments. Alright, and we have single comments and it's actually called single line comment and multiple line comment. And single line comment is actually denoted by // of this nature. So as you can see, let me just use that in action. Up here, let me just say this is a single line comment. So you may be thinking that when I save and then refresh this in the browser that I'm going to have a text that will say this is a single line comment. it's not going to show up in the browser. Actually, let us save and refresh our browser, and you see we did not have that. So that means that actually the browser will never execute this line of code. Alright, say for instance, if I want to use this particular line of comment to take away this first echo that we just printed on the screen, I can add a double forward slash, and you're going to see that if I save and refresh the browser, we're not going to have hello I am learning PHP any longer in the browser. And there we go. So that is actually how to use single line comment. And there is also another symbol that they use, and which is a number sign. I don't know what is that. That is really cool, but I normally call it number sign. So if I save and reload, we still get the same thing. So that still means that that line has been commented out. Alright, so another line, another type of comment that we'll have is the one we'll call multiple line comments. Alright, and to what that means is that we use multiple line comments to comment a block of code, or more than two lines, more than one line of code. We use that to comment it out at a time, and the symbol for that is forward slash and then star. But remember that this also has a closing tag, so I'll open it and then close it right here this way. So whatever thing that I'm going to write within this place will not be executed. So if I say this is a multiple line comment, press enter, and maybe I type other things, whatever I like. Understand? So for instance, to also actually test this very well, let me just cut these things that we have up here and paste them inside of this multiple line comment. I'll cut them and put them right here. You're going to notice that this is going to cause these 1, 2, 3 lines to do not execute in the browser. You understand? So if I save and refresh the browser, we still get the same thing. You see that? So that's actually how to comment multiple lines out. So another thing that I want us to look at now is actually this print, or even if it is echo that we are using, we can actually add a parenthesis in front of this word like this, and we get the same thing. It's just like as if to say that it's a function. Still get the same thing, and even the same thing with echo. If you want to use echo, so when I save this, copy and paste, change this to echo, and change the text inside to, let me see, goodbye word. Alright, and save that. And notice that this is going to actually print the two results in the same line. Oops, I misspelled a goodbye. So let's save that and even see what it is on the browser for us. And we have, this is my first PHP script and goodbye word. So let me actually break that line down. So to do that, we need to add a dot, that's concatenation, and inside of this code you can just add BR tag. Alright, save that, refresh your browser, and there we go. So the next thing, so another crucial thing that I want us to actually discuss right now is this semicolon. This semicolon is actually very important. If you do not, this semicolon is actually used to tell the PHP code that a particular line of code has terminated here. You understand? It's just like a punctuation telling the PHP that this line of code stopped here. And if you do not add it, it's going to cause some serious error in your code. Alright, so always remember, anytime you're writing PHP code and you are done writing the particular line of code, you need to terminate that with that semicolon. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope this wasn't too confusing. I'll see you in my next video. Thank you, and don't forget to subscribe if you are not already subscribed to this channel. And if you like this video, just give it a like, and if you don't like, you can also dislike it. Alright, so thank you, and don't forget to check the description box for some important links. Thank you.